Good morning. All right, headed off to the gym parking lot. Actually, I do this every morning. I just sit in the parking lot for about 45 minutes before either on meetings or reading. So today, I don't know what I'm doing because I don't have any meetings. It was a long day yesterday. We waited almost 7 hours to see a doctor. But luckily enough, we live close to the doctor, so we came home and did our usual stuff. Worked, cooked, got the kid ready. Oh my gosh, somebody walking right beside me, didn't see him. This is my, I guess this is my third day, and I was just thinking, I've been wanting to do this for a while, and I was just thinking, why am I doing this? One of the bigger reasons I would say is just how lonely it is running your own business or building your own company nowadays, especially when everybody is remote. And the more you get into building a company and doing it online especially, the more it just feels lonely. Just slightly over 10 years since I last left my corporate job. It was, I remember sitting in the office. So I was a graphic designer at that time. I was in the marketing department of a sort of a private and major country club out here in Vancouver. And I just remember wanting to find something where I could just do online. I was just really interested in that. And I didn't know really what entrepreneurship was. And I remember finding a podcast by the name of Smart Passive Income with Pat Flynn. And that guy's podcast changed my world. It flipped it upside down, because when I caught a hold of that podcast, I could not stop listening to it every day. And I think it started to become quite evident that I was slowing down productivity, because around, I don't know, a month and a half in, I was thinking like, I'm going to leave my job. I've got to do something online. My boss came to talk to me, like, hey, Jesse, you want to go have lunch? And so she sat me down and talked to me. I forgot exactly what the conversation was about, but I was I was feeling quite overloaded with the amount of work I had to do there and the amount of designing that I had to do there. Looking back, it probably wasn't that bad, but it felt quite stressful. And I said it like, once she brought me up, like, how are you feeling, blah blah blah, and I just said, you know what, I'm thinking about leaving. I just told her openly. And they asked me to stick around for the next, I think, 60 days. I was supposed to leave on a February or something, but I ended up leaving before the new year, and right before my trip with my then girlfriend, now wife, to Japan. And I quit right before I left, and it was the best feeling ever. Didn't know what I was gonna do exactly, and my wife at that time was a Japanese nail artist, so we decided to hop in and do some e-commerce. And then from e-commerce, it led to doing some tutorial videos on YouTube. That really picked up. And then we launched, I think it was like a couple months later, we put together a pretty nasty, my windshield wiper's going crazy here, I don't want to say nasty, but pretty rough website together. I remember we created a membership site to learn specifically Japanese nail art, and it took off. And I learned a lot of marketing, doing a lot of marketing, content creation. Yeah, just a lot. I mean, I think the site is still up. If you can find it, the site is still up, but it is shut down in terms of creating new content. We don't really get too involved with it anymore because it wasn't what she wanted to do, and yeah, it put a little bit of a strain on our relationship just with the sheer amount. I mean, it was great, but at the end, I think she that wasn't her dream, and it was my dream to continue to work online. I just learned so much. She learned so much, and we never regret it. To this day, we talked about how lucky we were to run a business together for almost, I don't know, I guess it was 2013 till like 2017, 4 or 5 years, 6 years. No, yeah, almost. I think we stopped around 2018 to the 19, and we officially, stopped 2020, maybe even 20. I don't even know. But anyway, 6 years together. That was awesome. And yeah, prior to that, I was actually working on a t-shirt brand, and even prior to that, I was very heavily in building the dance community out here in Vancouver. I do a style called popping, and I ran a lot of events, organized a lot of workshops, organized a lot of people coming out here. I started up the clubs, the university dance clubs here. There's a pretty major event now that now runs on its own. It's a nonprofit. Well, they've got a team now, but I started the Vancouver Street Dance Festival. And I guess all along I did have quite a entrepreneurial journey, but really at the end, like the further I progressed into working for myself and figuring it out, the more lonely things felt. And it leads me to think like, yeah, I think I'm doing this a lot of the times. I've been debating to do this is because of the loneliness I get from running my business. Now, I've got a wonderful team. We're all remote. We all hang out in a sort of a virtual world while we work together. It's called Kumo Space, which is pretty fun. But we're all in different time zones, so we're not always there together. I imagine the future work would look something like that. I'm in fact reading a book right now called How We Work in the Future, or something like that. I was supposed to bring it and I forgot it, but I've got an Audible right now, so I'm going to sit down and listen to that for a little bit. But yeah, I think I'm a pretty needy guy. Wanting to do something like this. Don't even know if anybody's going to even watch this. I've always had the thought about just streaming live and co-working with other founders or entrepreneurs together while I play music. I think that does earn me the title of being pretty darn needy. Again, I'm very lucky. I've got a great co-founder. I would trust the world with him, and hopefully he would with me. And I was very lucky to meet him. We met online, out of all places. And we didn't even meet until after, it was 2 years of running the company together. And we finally met in person because we started the company in the midst of COVID. He was out in Korea. I was out here in Vancouver. And during the COVID, we started discussions around February of 2020. And didn't get to meet until 2022 because both countries were pretty tough on COVID and the restrictions. So anyways, today's focus, not to be needy. No, I'm going to continue to be needy here. We're running another live onboarding session. It's the last day of the boot camp today. Working again on our website. Really excited about some of the stuff we're implementing on our website. The way that we're restructuring how we communicate our benefits, because we run a software B2B business, When we launched, we didn't have a lot of features, so it was a matter of just like a lot of the ways that we broke our website or marketing down on the website was, we have this feature and let's talk about it. We have this feature, let's talk about it. Now we're rolling with more, simplifying that and having our, at least our website communication, really communicating the benefit of the product as a way to break down our features. So one of the big changes we're doing right now is, instead of like under a product, you'll see all the features listed. You can click into each of the features. We've got a lot more features now, so we're going with the benefits. Get organized, manage your team. I don't know the exact wording of it yet, and engage with leads. So yeah, really excited about how we're going to be going about that, and really sticking to the big benefits and really driving that home. I think in marketing, it's so easy to get caught up with, I think you hear this a lot, you can't really talk about what your product is. You really got to talk to the benefits, or talk about the benefits, and how do you solve, or what are you solving for your customers. So yeah, finally, it's been a while since we've actually reworked the content on there. I wish we could do everything at once, but resources and time don't allow for everything to happen at once. So anyways, I'm really excited about that. We're reviewing that. I've got my schedule here again. What else? This is me holding myself accountable to you guys. Right, so we're working on our challenge. Our 5-day challenge is coming up again in March, and the last challenge I wrote, I've got a lot of changes that I wanted to make to really improve on that. So gonna be going through that. I've got several sales calls today, demo calls, and social media, working on social media as well today, so filming some stuff. But that's my day. Loneliness. I'm quite needy. All right, so a full morning of meetings and calls, and I am exhausted. My voice is gone. I'm finally getting to eat some lunch right now. I've been doing this whole carnivore thing for the last couple weeks. I heard about this last year at a SaaS founder meetup. Met a guy who was sitting across having dinner with, told me about carnivore. That he's been doing carnivore for years, and it's literally healed him of so many things. I believe he had an autoimmune issue as well, but I was so skeptical, and I started digging into it. It's interesting, and it's funny. A lot of things that I learned, I don't remember, but I remember watching it. While a lot of that kind of makes sense to me, and I love meat. And I've always thought that, we need a healthy balance between meat and veggies. Anyways, I told myself, you know what? It sounds so good. Some of the people that have done it, and what they've gotten out of it. I was like, I've never done any sort of diet or anything like that. Like, seriously. I thought I'd give this a try. And yeah, oddly enough, I've been on this for a couple weeks, which is mostly red meat, which is mostly a lot of beef, some pork. I don't eat a lot of chicken. I didn't know chicken was sort of considered a poor quality of meat, but red meat is considered sort of a superfood, and it doesn't get marketed that way. Funny how marketing works. So yeah, eggs and ground beef right now. Been eating ground beef like rice. I literally ordered half a beef. I don't know what you call it, but I've actually cut that down to a quarter because I cannot fit it in my freezer. I have a 10 cubic feet freezer coming. I've got a quarter of a cow coming as well.
So I'm pretty much 80% carnivore at this point. I'm trying to do, it's not the lion version of it, which is like red meat or beef, salt, and water. Um, I do a variation of that, and I do cheat. So any social gathering, I do, eat whatever the heck. I mean, I try to stick more animal based. So sorry for those of you guys that are vegans or vegetarians, that this makes your ears bleed. Yeah, I don't do much crazy rituals as a founder or business owner. I just try to stick to the basics. I get a lot of sleep. I sleep early. I sleep like a grandma. I'm in bed by 8 when my kid's in bed. I'm up by 4, 5. But I don't fall asleep sometimes until like 9. And there are occasional nights that I decide to fire up the gaming system and play a little bit of games. I love games. But yeah, so this is the first time I'm kind of trying out something. And the first things I noticed was I was no longer bloated. So I eat a lot of rice and bread, vegetables, which cause a lot of bloating and gas. I don't have that issue anymore. That's within a couple weeks. Well, within the first week, at the end of the first week, I noticed that. The other big thing, a couple more things I noticed. I can sleep on my back, which is weird because I could never sleep on my back for all these years because if I did, my bloating would get so bad and it hurt, like physically really hurt. So I always have to sleep on my side. I don't have an issue sleeping on my back. In fact, it's so foreign. I just kind of lay there frozen. I don't even know what to do. Like, do I put my head this way or this way? It's just so not normal, even for my neck. It's just, I don't sleep like, anyways, I do it. I now sleep on my back and it's nice. I don't know why it's nice. It's different, I guess. Sometimes you toss and turn, you want to vary up the body. And so now I can sleep on my back, which is crazy to think I can do that consistently every day now. The other thing I noticed is my energy level. It wasn't until I started realizing I don't do a dip. Like, I didn't notice that until I started thinking about it. I was like, wait a minute, I usually have an afternoon dip after lunch. And I don't. So I haven't gone full on yet. I still spoil myself with a couple pieces of chocolate at night. I mean, pieces, they're morsel. I'm not having a bar or anything like that. And I did this for 2 reasons. One, I wanted to see if I can stick with something that was pretty challenging for me. I've got a lot of junk here, and I'm trying very hard to resist that. I find that it's fun trying that. It's a bit of a challenge. And number 2, I just wanted to feel what the effects are like. I said I'll do this for 3 months, and then I'll decide if I want to continue or maybe tone down on it. But it's been great cutting out processed sugars, carbs, rice, bread. I just feel so much better. Well, I wouldn't say so much better. Maybe I'm exaggerating. I just feel better. I feel good. I feel like I've got energy from the moment I get up right until the moment I go to bed. I don't dip. And with a lot of the research that I've looked into with the people that have done the research, so these are qualified doctors, there's a few channels on YouTube, just seems like there's a lot of health benefits to it. And there's a lot of misinformation about food out there. I still don't understand it. But I'm slowly learning and learning more. I'm part of a few groups that sort of looks into this stuff. I know at first I felt like, oh boy, what's the next thing I'm going to do? Wear tinfoil hats and believe the earth is flat type of thing. But, I do feel different. So, anyways, just about to get ready to head over to a cafe. I don't like working from my home office or basement office. during the afternoon, especially when I'm in a city that already has like a lack of sunlight. I don't want to become a vampire. So I get out to a cafe, usually sit by the window because my office doesn't have a window. I'm going to do that. I'm going to do that and work on a couple of the projects that I mentioned. Again, it's just been a morning full of sales calls, and man, I feel so drained after using my voice so much. It was like 4.5 hours of straight talking. You would think I'm used to it now, but again, I am so excited to bring on someone to take over sales. I can't wait. Anyways. Yep.